day I would say, Lord, I don't know what James is facing, but Lord, would you please help him today, whatever it is. I had no clue what it was for the Mosteller. I just thought maybe I'm just daydreaming or something, but especially in the evening, it's a little heavier. Went on through the evening, and the next day came back to mind, not so much as a burden, but I remembered that, and late that day I thought, I'm going to give him a call. Picked up the phone and gave him a phone call, and he chit-chatted a little bit, and I said, well, the only reason that I called you is I said, for some reason yesterday, I could not get you off of my mind. James broke down, and he said, Brent, last night after service, I preached a message in the evening service, Wednesday night. He said, when I went to go out of the church, he said, there's a young man in my church that's been fighting God. And he said, if he could have killed me last night, he would have. He said, he physically attacked me at my vehicle. Now, you would have to know James. James had no trouble handling this fellow. But this man thought that he could injure James or hurt him. James, in his gentle way, gently placed him on the ground. I'm sure said, I'm going to have a prayer with you or something. But anyway, looking back on that, God knew when I didn't know. And when James had no one to call out to, God knew all about it. And did you know today there are times in life when people are going through the valley and the Lord wants to know, are you available to carry the burden for them in the darkest hour of their life? Paul said, I'm comforted in knowing that you're praying for me.
That's right.
Not only that, but I want you to notice this. There was something else that was a comfort and strength to Paul, and in verse 12 he said the testimony of our conscience. Can I say to you this morning that we are all involved in struggles and battles, and if the devil can, he wants to get you to take the battle in your own hands.
Lord help us.
Figure it out. Have you ever been attacked? Have you ever been under the gun? Have you ever had people lie about you? You ever had people do things? And sometimes that natural propensity to say, we're going to deal with this. Did you know that if you'll let God deal with it? Lord, what do I do? How do I deal with this? God has a way of disarming the enemy. And Paul said on the other side of it all, I want you to know my conscience is clear. I did what was right. I said what was right. I behaved appropriately. And I have no regrets looking back on it.
Glory to God. That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are danger areas spiritually. The devil wants to get us into a fog or get us into a war or get us into a situation, and they are to snare us into something that could endanger our soul. There's one thing that we have to come out on the other side with: a clear conscience.
So true.
I can look back on that and God help me to keep a right attitude, to maintain a right spirit. And Paul said, I can face these troubles. When I come out on the other side, there's a great comfort in tribulation. Well, let me finish with this. Paul, finally in verse 15, he said, and in this confidence I was minded to come unto you before, that ye might have a second benefit. Friends, you and I can go through these things today with a great confidence as well. We can have confidence that God will keep us.
Amen.
He said there is nothing that can come to us but what the Lord has already waited. He already knows, and there's already a way out.
Amen.
The Lord will not allow more on us than we can bear.
Glory to God.
Friends, if there's any failure, it's not on God's side, but it would be on our side. But the Scripture says, now unto him that is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the throne
That's right.
of his grace.
Amen.
Paul had the confidence that God would keep him. He had the promises of God as the assurance that in the hour of trouble, the Lord was there even when he didn't see his sins. God right there. And then above all, he had the comfort of the Spirit. Brother Keith Wheeler, I didn't plan this today because you're here, but I appreciated the testimony that I read of feeling that God is carrying through all of this. Dear friend of mine, faced a tremendous amount of opposition. He was standing for what was right. There was quite a conglomerate of people that wanted to go a different direction. And so this gentleman finally took a stand and said, no, this is the way that we're going. They turned against him. The vote was against him and turned him out. I was deeply concerned. I called him. And when I did, he was driving down the road. He and his wife crying, but they weren't tears of self-pity. He said, Brent, let me tell you something. There's so much of the presence of God in this vehicle with us right now. We feel like the arms of God are underneath us. And Brent, I just want you to know, come out of on top. The Lord's given us me. I called to encourage him, and he encouraged me. You know why? He had the promises of God. And he had the presence of God. And friend, that's a comfort.
That's right.
In the hour of trouble.
So true.
And in the hour of tribulation. Friends, I want to promise you this morning, he's there. If you'll hold on and trust him. Father in heaven, we count it such a joy to be together on the Lord's Day. Thank you for the people of God, and I pray your blessing on them this morning. Meet our needs, Lord, and touch every heart that is here. Take us from this place, but Lord, bring us back tonight in your presence as well. We pray it in Jesus' name. Amen. May the Lord bless you.